Imagine this, you just finished dinner with a loved one, your wife, husband, whatever, and you're on your way home. All of a sudden, you see the red and blue disco lights behind you flashing blue and red. You pull over in an orderly fashion, the officer walks up, takes your license, registration, runs them, comes back to your car, and then he says the words that change the entire encounter. I'm gonna need you to step out the car. What you do in the next 10 seconds decides whether you drive home or possibly spend the night in jail. And I'm gonna tell you something that will surprise almost every single one of you watching. The rules are the same whether you're the driver or the passenger. Both of you have to get out. Neither of you can simply just walk away, and the officer is counting on the fact you don't know what comes next. Hi, I'm attorney Marc Lopez, and we're gonna fix that right now. Here's the thing, almost every viewer of this channel will be in this exact moment at some point in the next 5 years, maybe 10. Statistically, it is coming. And almost every single one of you, if you're honest, has no idea what you're gonna do. Not because you're not smart, but because nobody has ever told you, or you've been taught wrong. Because they don't teach this in driver's ed, they don't teach this in high school, they should. And the Bureau of Motor Vehicles, when they hand you a driver's license registration and send you out into the world to drive, they don't tell you what exactly to do when the police come up to your door and tell you, step out the car. So that's what this video is all about. The full playbook, driver and passenger. Step by step, what to do, what to say, what not to do, what not to say. And we're gonna answer 4 questions in this video, and we're gonna answer them fast because the moment we're talking about happens fast. Here are the 4. Number 1, do I have to step out of the vehicle? Driver or passenger? Number 2, can I just walk away? Especially if I'm the passenger and the stop has nothing to do with me. Number 3, what do I do with the door behind me? And number 4, what do I say once I'm standing outside the vehicle? That's the video. Let's go. Question 1. Driver behind the wheel, cop walks up, cop says, step out the car. Do you have to? Yes! I know that's not what some of you want to hear, but it is the correct answer and it is settled law. The United States Supreme Court answered this question in Pennsylvania v. Mimms. Mr. Mimms got pulled over for an expired license plate. Officer asked him to step out. He did not want to. The case went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, and I'm paraphrasing, the officer can order the driver out of a lawfully stopped car, period. No additional justification needed. Officer safety, per se, reasonable. That was 1977. The ruling has never been overturned, not narrowed, not reconsidered. It is the law of every traffic stop in the United States of America. But now, here's what people miss. Mimms is only one half of the answer. 20 years later, in 1977, the Supreme Court took the same rule and extended it to passengers. That case is Maryland v. Wilson. Officer can order the passenger out of a lawfully stopped vehicle. Same rule, same justification, same answer. So, if you're sitting in the passenger seat thinking, I'm not driving, this isn't about me, you can't make me do anything, yes, the officer can. And the Supreme Court has already said so. In 1997, both seats, same rule. So, when the cop says, step out, the door is opening, driver or passenger. That part is not up for negotiation. And trying to negotiate it on the shoulder of the road at 11 o'clock at night is how a traffic ticket becomes a felony. Question 2, you're the passenger. The stop has nothing to do with you. You didn't do anything. You weren't driving. You weren't speeding. The car isn't even yours. You're sitting there minding your own business when your buddy gets a ticket. Can you just open the door and walk away? The answer is no. And the reason the answer is no is another Supreme Court case, this one from 2007, Brendlin v. California. In that case, the court said something very specific and very important. A passenger stopped and a stopped car is seized under the 4th Amendment. From the moment those lights come on, you are part of the stop. Now, I think that's actually good news in one sense because being seized means you have a 4th Amendment standing. If the stop was illegal, you can challenge it later. But it also means in the immediate moment, you are not free to leave, and the officer does not have to tell you that. He doesn't have to put it on a sign because the Supreme Court has already said it for him. So picture this. The car gets pulled over, the driver hands the cop his license, you, the passenger, decide enough is enough. Open the door and start walking out. What happens next? What happens next can easily be a felony resisting charge, maybe worse, because you just walked away from a lawful detention and you did not even know you were being detained. So the bottom line is you can't walk away, not as a driver and not as the passenger, and not because the officer is mean. It's because the Supreme Court has said so. You are part of the stop until the officer ends the stop. That's the passenger paradox. You don't have to identify yourself in most situations. You don't have to answer their questions, but you also can't leave. Seized, but not silenced. Trapped, but protected. That is the whole rule in one sentence. Question 3. You stepped out. You're standing outside the car. The cop is 6 feet away. Now what about the door? This is the part nobody tells you. Close the door and lock it behind you. I'm going to repeat that because in the years I've been making these videos, this is the single most overlooked piece of advice in any traffic stop. Close the door behind you, lock it. Walk away from the vehicle just enough to talk to the officer. Here's why. The Fourth Amendment protects you from unreasonable searches, but it does not protect you from what the officer can see. That's called the plain view doctrine. Anything the officer can see from where he is lawfully standing is fair game. A backpack on the passenger seat, a bottle in the cup holder, something on the floor. If he can see it through an open door, he does not need your permission to look at it. He's already looking at it. Now close the door. What happens? The plain view doctrine through the door goes away. The cabin of your car goes back to being private. And if the officer wants to look inside beyond what he can see in the windows, he now needs one of the things he did not need before. Probable cause, your consent, or a warrant. That 1 second movement, pulling the door shut behind you and pressing the lock, is one of the absolute pivotal things that you can do to maximize your chances of the officer not getting into your vehicle. It's free, it's not aggressive, it's not refusing a lawful order, it's just closing the door, because a closed door is your friend. And that's the same rule for a passenger. Step out, close your door, lock it. Don't leave it sitting like an open invitation. Now, there's some pretty important things to this. Don't slam a door on an officer, don't be obnoxious about it, and if the officer tells you, leave that door open, don't lock that door, make sure you audibly say loud enough for the officer's body cam to pick up, or maybe even you're recording the conversation, officer, I don't feel comfortable leaving my door open. I want to lock it and shut it. I object to any type of searches. Say that out loud because, again, a closed door is your friend. It prevents officers getting in there, messing around with things, or even a dog jumping in. You don't need a dog. Even if you're hiding nothing in your car, do you really want a dog in your car tearing things up? Do you really want an officer poking his head, pulling things out? No. The answer is no, you don't. Even if you think you have nothing to hide. Question 4, you're standing outside the car. Door closed, door locked, the officer is right there. He is going to start asking questions. He's good at asking questions. He's been trained on asking questions. He's probably going to pretend to be nice about it because he does this every single shift. He's going to ask where you're coming from. He's going to ask where you're going. He's going to ask how much have you had to drink. And he's going to ask, mind if I have a quick look? Here's what you need to say to all of it. Nothing. I know that sounds simple. I know it feels wrong. The instinct when somebody in uniform asks you a question is to answer, to explain, to clear it up. Officer, I've only had 1 drink. Officer, I'm coming from my friend's house. Officer, I'm on my way home after the bar. Officer, you can look in my car. I've got nothing to hide. Every single one of those sentences is evidence. Every single one. The officer's body camera is recording. The dash cam is recording. Whatever you say is going to be read aloud in court by a prosecutor who is paid to make it sound worse than it was. So here's the script. Memorize this because at 11 p.m. on a dark road, you're not going to remember a Supreme Court case. You are going to remember a sentence. If you're the driver, hand the officer your license, registration, and insurance. Step out of the vehicle when asked. Close the door behind you, lock it. Then say this, officer, I'm going to remain silent. I do not consent to any searches. Am I free to go? If you're the passenger, step out when asked. Close the door behind you, lock it, and say this, officer, I'm not going to answer any questions. I do not consent to any searches. Am I free to go? That's it. That's the whole script. The officer might press you. He'll say things like, if you got nothing to hide, why won't you talk to me? That is not a legal argument. That is a conversation tactic. Your 1-sentence response is, I am exercising my constitutional rights. And then you stop talking because exercising your rights is not evidence of a crime. No court in this country has ever held that it is. And one more thing on the Fifth Amendment. The Supreme Court in Salinas v. Texas says something important. You generally have to actually invoke the Fifth out loud. Don't just go quiet. Say the words, I plead the Fifth. Or you can also say the long version, I'm invoking my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. Now, I plead the Fifth. Short and sweet. It's beautiful. And you got to say it out loud on the camera so there's no ambiguity later. Now, here's the line I want every one of you to remember. Out of everything in this video, if you remember nothing else, remember this. Compliance and silence are not opposites. You can do exactly what the officer tells you to do and say exactly nothing while you do it. That is not resistance. That is not aggression. That is the Constitution working the way it was designed to work. So, step out the car, driver and passenger, both of you. Close the door, lock it. Hand over your license if you're driving, decline the questions, decline the searches, take the citation if there is one, and then drive away. Call a lawyer if you have any questions. Because the fight, if there's gonna be one, is not gonna be won on the shoulder of the road in the dark with adrenaline running through you with a flashlight in your face. The fight is gonna be won in a courtroom. Weeks later, with a transcript, with a body cam, with a judge who reads the Fourth Amendment for a living. The officer's job during a stop is to investigate. That's not a complaint. That's a job description, and your job is to not help him investigate. Now look, if you have made it this far, you must like me, or at least like these videos a small little bit. If you could, please like this video, leave me a comment, and subscribe to my channel. I don't even care what the comment is. You can put on there, hey Mark, good job. You can put on there, hey Mark, terrible, I hate you. I don't like those comments as much, obviously. If you truly have nothing to put on there, let me know who I remind you of. Seriously, some people saying I look like Jack Black have got me going to the gym 3-4 days a week because I don't want to look like Jack Black. It's messing with me. But if that's all you can do, any comment is appreciated. Most importantly, if you or a loved one are facing charges in Indiana, give me and my team a call here at the Marc Lopez Law Firm. We would love to talk about your options. The number is 317-632-3642. And even more important than that, remember to always plead the Fifth.